Hey guys, welcome back. This is my second episode in this series. If you're new here, as you guys can tell, this is not the Redsea Reefer 350. Backstory is I chipped a little corner and I'm having that replaced. So in the meantime, I have this 40-gallon breeder as a holding tank. So in the last video, I kind of left off with bringing some of my corals over. So here they are. And yeah, there's a lot to discuss, so let's dive right in. So you guys remember in the last video I was battling some Acro eating flatworm. Unfortunately, most of my Acros didn't survive. I have only one that survived, and I'll show you later in this video. But yeah, here's most of my corals. They're all doing okay. I lost probably most of my Acros and everything else pretty much survived. I ended up ordering some fish online from Dr Reef. This is my first time ordering fish online. I usually shop in store to look at fish, but they quarantine and condition the fish, so I decided to give it a shot, and they had a promotion for some free shipping, so why not. So I ordered 4 fish from them. It was a Roy Graham, as you can see here, that didn't make it, so I put that off to the side. I also picked up a Tomini Tang, a leopard wrasse, I think it's a blue star leopard wrasse, and the last one was a green/blue Mandarin that was captive bred. So unfortunately, these bags were they have a little black to protect them from, I don't know, the light or something. I don't know, I'm not too sure, so you guys couldn't see them in the video. But after opening up all the bags, only 2 fish ended up surviving. As you guys can see here in the video, it was a Tomini Tang and my Mandarin. I heard that leopard wrasses don't shit really well, so I guess that wasn't a surprise. But the Roy Grandma also didn't make it. So I ended up acclimating these guys for a while. So the water that they ship in is really low salinity, so it helps reduce stress on the fish. So I tested the water with my new Wilwaukee saltwater tester refractometer. I really recommend one of these things. Is way easier than using the old school stuff. But the water was sitting at around 1.019. I had to test a few times to make sure that everything was calibrated. It seemed really low to me, but I guess that's what they ended up shipping with. I had to bring the water up since my tank was sitting at 1.025. It took about, I would say, more than an hour. I really didn't want to rush things, so I kind of just scooped water from my tank, put in the little bucket I had, and took water out at the same time. Alright, so here's a closer look at the green Mandarin. Under white light, the colors really don't show too well, but I got this guy in the tank, and here you can see his colors a lot better. He kind of just attached on this heater when he first got in the tank, but he eventually found his way back down. And I've been feeding him with some copepods from Reef Nutrition. I have tried feeding him some mysis and brine, but he really doesn't seem to like those, so I think it'll take a while to get him trained, even though he was captive bred. And here's a look at the Tomini Tang. It was pretty small, fit inside this cup. I requested a smaller one, so I'm pretty happy with the size. I put him in the tank and he kind of just floated into this little corner. But overall, they all looked pretty healthy, and I'm glad that they made the shipping. Most of the time in the tank, he was just swimming under the rocks, and I really liked the Tomini Tang's color. That's one of the reasons why I got him. But yeah, here's the tank. I think this was day 6 or the end of the first week after setting up the holding tank. So everything was looking really good. I got all the corals in. This is old footage, but the Acros right there didn't make it. My blue tort died. I lost my deep water Acro and the pink one that I've had for a really long time. The only ones that survived were the pink one that was encrusting onto the rock, the goldenrod, and my bonsai Acro. Alright, so this is where the downfall of this tank kind of started. So this is the last footage I had of the Tomini Tang. He didn't do well after about 2 or 3 days. I noticed that he wasn't really eating and just kind of staying under a rock for the whole day. And then the next morning I found him on the power head, and yeah, unfortunately he didn't make it. Then afterwards I got this really bad algae bloom. I mean, diatoms were normal, so I thought this was just film algae. But then I noticed that my water was really getting murky, and it got to the point where I couldn't even look through the tank. Like if I were to look from one side of the glass, I couldn't even see where like the corals were or the rock. So everything was looking pretty bad. I did some water changes to help, and I went online and they suggested getting a UV, which wasn't an option because I couldn't plumb it. So I got this little like pump that was like an in tank UV. Also, sadly, this was the last footage of my 2 beloved clownfish in my main tank. I've had the black one since I first started the hobby, and the orange one for a super long time. So the black one, I'm not too sure. One night I saw her getting sick and she wasn't eating and hiding behind this elegance in the rock. Then one night I kind of watched her as she passed away. I noticed that she wasn't swimming right and she kind of just sunk to the bottom. So she didn't make it that night, and then the next day I noticed that my orange clownfish, as you can see there, he kind of had like a weird bump or infection on the bottom of his stomach near his butt, I guess. Then I noticed that he got really sick, was breathing rapidly, and I tried my best to save him. I did a freshwater dip, you know, it's kind of last resort. He survived for another day, but unfortunately he passed in the morning. Yeah, I was really devastated by this loss, and the only thing I could think of was something came on the Tang and it kind of just affected him. My black clownfish passed suddenly and really didn't show any signs of like ick or anything like that. But after the orange one died, I didn't see any flukes or anything, but I noticed that after he died, his skin kind of had like the mucus, so maybe it broke. But the thing is, I also have another clownfish Pixie in the tank who was not affected, and all my other fish are healthy and doing fine. But to brighten things up, here's a cool video of my yellow assessor basslet swimming upside down. So he finally was able to do this behavior because he's in a bigger tank now. It's kind of cool to do this naturally, and I've even seen him eat upside down like that too. So yeah, tough week for me. It's never easy losing a fish in the hobby. It's always kind of sad, and you know, even losing your first fish like that. I've watched her grown since she was like a little inch into a really happy and chubby clownfish, and I've kept the other orange one for about 1.5 years, so you know, it's great seeing progress on them, and kind of sad that their lives got cut short. As for the other fish, I'm getting a replacement order soon, so hopefully those pull through. I was supposed to get my Redsea Reefer back this week, but unfortunately the person who sold my tank had some personal family issues. So I really don't have much options on where to keep everything right now. But the next time the new fish come in, I'll definitely do things differently by keeping them in a separate system for a few days and observing how they do. That wraps up today's video. In the next video, I'll be getting a gold torch from Worldwide Corals, so looking forward to that one. And yeah, hope everybody's summer is going well, at least better than mine. And I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.